Hey folks, last week in talking about the lust of the eyes and how boys like their toys, I mentioned what recreation is. That recreation is meant to recreate ourselves. Recreation is a good thing to do, but we also distinguish between recreation and just pure amusements. And I want to share with you what I shared with my sons here recently. I said, why is it that we automatically assume that recreation has to equate to play? Does that make sense? I think you talk to most people, when they think recreation, they think me time, playing a game, doing something just that makes me not have to do anything. I'm here in front of our wood piles. I love to cut wood, and I love to split wood. Now, my boys don't share my same level of enthusiasm, but they're pretty good to go out and help Dad without being told. But I remember reading about Daniel Webster, who was so busy with the founding of our country in those early years of our society, how he worked so hard when he was in D.C. in places of prominence. But when he went home on the weekends, he would just relax by horseback riding, by gardening, by hunting, and by fishing. And again, he kept active in those things, but those were considered his forms of recreation. And I tell my sons often, you are creating habits, appetites, and perspectives right now that will serve you the rest of your life. And I ask them, why is it that recreation is almost always equated with doing nothing beneficial? Again, just watching TV or surfing the webs or looking at memes, whatever it might be. Why has that become the definition of recreation rather than going back in history to men like Daniel Webster who were outside working? I think it was George Bancroft, who was a great historian. He wrote volumes on the histories of the world. Up into his 90s, he was still horseback riding almost daily, and he kept a magnificent rose garden throughout all of his estate. And that's what he did to relax himself. And so I want to challenge you as parents to have these conversations with your kid. And again, this is the beauty of homeschooling. This is real life. To share the difference between just recreating yourself, having recreation, versus just wasting your time doing nothing. These discussions can add years, literal years, to your children's lives, and plus give them a more effective work life as well. Just recently, my boys and I started for about 3 or 4 days. We had a big tree down in our south woods. I mean, a massive tree. It's where most of this came from. And we'd go out every evening about 4:30 to 5 as soon as I got off work. And we'd work really hard for an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours till supper time. And we just did that every day. My blood pressure's been up. That makes my blood pressure go down. It helps them sleep better at night. So there's so many benefits to godly recreation. And above all, a lot of recreation like this doesn't cost anything. Last night we just had a big bonfire, and we sit around talking about 11:30 last night, maybe for an early morning. But that was free. Well, the s'mores weren't, but you know how that works. So these things do not have to be expensive. Most people think that we've got to go to a movie or got to go spend money here or there. My wife lately, one of our favorite ice cream shops, because the minimum wage has gone up, their prices have gone up, and their serving size has gotten smaller. And we want to help be patronage of them, but we can't go as much as we used to because it gets to be pretty expensive. And so my wife has instead brought ice cream in gallon buckets at our local grocery store and some confectionaries, and we're having our own ice cream bar now. We can do 3 or 4 of those compared to one trip to the restaurant. And again, I want to support our local businesses, but also we got to stay within our budget. Dave Ramsey. So as you talk with your kids, and please, oh please, oh please, take these glorious times that we have during all the coronavirus stir to take time to talk to your sons especially, but also your children, your daughters as well, about the difference between recreation and amusement and how the lust of the eyes can get us into a lot of trouble. This is Kirk Smith with ICHE's Take 5.